All right, so everybody knows about the whole Final Fantasy VII remake coming to PlayStation 4, right?
Wait, what? They're making a Final Fantasy VII remake? No, just kidding. Yes, of
So
course I know.
everybody's known about it since it was what E3 when they officially, quote unquote, officially announced that it was coming, even though people had speculation that it was coming all this time.
Well,
And
I mean, people were hoping all this time, and
well,
we kept getting teased by it, but
that's true. And people got super hyped whenever they saw that it was coming out, and they saw the graphics, they saw like the rendered graphics, the cut scenes, everything. It just looked amazing to people, and people lost their minds.
me included. I
Now,
lost my mind.
now the thing is, when you look at the graphics and everything, it's clearly meant for next gen consoles. It's clearly meant for PS4. However, the one thing that PS4 is doing now with Final Fantasy VII Remake is the episodic problem. When you look
And
at
the battle system problem.
right, the battle system problem is well, it's a problem depending on who you ask.
I don't think it's a problem, but Eric does.
I don't necessarily think it's a problem. I think it's going to be a problem for them alienating a lot of people. So
That's true.
what's going on with this game is the battle system from the original Final Fantasy VII is turn-based, like most JRPGs of the time. And that's kind of what people expected to happen with the remake. Yeah, it's going to be a remake and it's going to be a lot prettier to look at, but it's also going to have that same feel that, it's Cloud's turn, it's Tifa's turn, and you go through like that. They're throwing that out the window apparently, and it's looking more and more like an action battle system that might be used in Final Fantasy 15.
Which, yeah, is a little bit lazy that they didn't create a new battle system or like a different battle system with its own flavor for this new game.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
but I mean like as long as they're spending the money that they're saving there to make an overall better game, I guess I don't have too much of a problem with it. Especially if the battle system is fun. If it sucks, then I'll have a problem with it because I want to have fun playing this game. I've been looking forward to it for so long. And honestly, I find turn-based battle systems really boring. Like, I think they were great for their time, like, they did what they need to do, but they're just too boring for this generation. And I'm gonna get a lot of hate saying that, and I am a rather young gamer. Like, and I came into the gaming scene or whatever pretty much later in my life than most people do, so that could be swaying my viewpoint. But I enjoy like fast-paced action and kind of having to think on your feet. Like not to say I don't like strategy games either, but when I'm playing like a pure, like battle game, if that makes sense. Like I
An action game,
action game. That's
hack
what I
and
meant to
slash.
say. Like I like hack and slash games. Like it's total guilty pleasure. I love mashing that button as hard as I can, and I find that a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to the battle system, even though a lot of people are like, I want my turn-based battle system.
Well, see, and that's another thing is that we don't really know the complete specifics of said battle system because everybody's assuming it's based off of Final Fantasy 15 based on how it looks and the idea that they're saving time and energy and resources by using a system that they already developed.
But like, that's not something that's new. Like people, like gaming companies always reuse battle systems or just like
Oh, they
advanced things
always
like that.
they always reuse engines. There's
Yeah.
there's no doubt. Engines like big like the Unity engine and stuff like that, like the Unreal engine. Everybody uses specific engines to make games until they can come up with a more diverse and powerful engine to run the next gen of games. What people are complaining about is not necessarily that they're saying, "Oh, the action sequences, the real-time strategy action battle." I shouldn't say real-time strategy. That's a completely
That's
different genre.
not real-time strategy. I'm
Um,
like, what?
yeah, the real time battling, like having to literally like run around and hack and slash, like it's Kingdom Hearts or something.
I love Kingdom
a
Hearts.
lot of people,
Sorry.
a lot of people are going to be alienated by that because they feel like Final Fantasy VII is a turn-based game. Like it just always has been, except for Crisis Core, which is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. So, I mean, it's all going to depend on preference. Honestly, I could play it either way. I enjoy JRPGs. I enjoy turn-based. I enjoy real-time action. Like, it's...
No.
Either way that works.
I mean, I think each battle system has its charm. I'm just very turned off by turn-based. Ha ha ha. Look at that play of words right there. Anyways, now that I'm done patting myself on the back, I'm just... Like, I just don't enjoy turn-based battle systems. I feel like they're just too simplistic. And yeah, of course, you know, people have been trying to spice it up. Like, look at Final Fantasy XIII and their attempt to spice up the turn-based battle system. I don't think it worked out quite as well as they were hoping.
How dare you try to compare Final Fantasy XIII to anything?
I'm just talking about their, like, spiced up turn-based battle system. It was...
Well, they weren't the... that wasn't the first one.
I'm not saying it wasn't the first one, but we're talking about Final Fantasy right now, and that's the one that popped into my head, because we're talking about Final Fantasy.
I guess. See,
yeah.
To go back to what you said, when you were talking about how they're trying to make it a better game or a greater game overall for the fans, try to appeal to the people who play now who maybe aren't necessarily forged in the whole turn-based system. The thing that they're doing now that's getting the most talk, that's really, really not giving them great publicity, is the notion that it's going to be episodic.
Yeah, it just feels like they're trying to milk as much money and, like, as much hype as they can out of us.
But see, that's the thing. They're getting the complete opposite reaction than what they want. What they're looking at here is a very big game. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Final Fantasy VII the remake is going to be massive, because Midgar is massive in that story. It just is. Plus, you're adding in all the enhanced visuals, and they're talking about adding tons of new content that wasn't in the original game, which is great. Everybody's going to enjoy that. The problem that everybody has with this situation is that when they say it's going to be episodic, they're literally going to release it in episodes, which has been one of the trends in gaming lately. It works great for things like the Walking Dead series or the Game of Thrones series that you see on Steam or
Life is Strange.
Any of the next-gen consoles. Yeah, Life is Strange, things like that. It's fine
because
for that.
Those are like story-based games, though. Like, you're like reading or playing a chapter in a story, and then, or like a book in the story, and then, like, you know, you wait a few months and or a few, like, whatever, and then the next book or chapter of the story/game comes out. Like, it's more similar to a book than, like, a book series than it is to, like, a movie that this video game is supposed, like, in this analogy would be. That was a really bad analogy. I'm sorry. But you understand what I'm saying.
It was brutal.
Awful. I'm so sorry.
Well, okay. So getting to that is everybody's upset with the idea that they don't know how the episode releases are going to work. They basically just told us that this is their excuse directly from Square. With everything that they're going to be putting into the game, they cannot fit it all onto one disc, which I'm going to call bullshit on, because you can put them on Blu-rays, and you can have multi-tier Blu-rays, which I don't see them ever being able to fill with an entire game. There's no way. But let's just play devil's advocate here for a second, and let's say they do have a game that's so massive that they can't fit it all onto one disc, right? Put it onto 2 discs.
Yeah.
What is so wrong with that? The original
came out on 3.
That's what yeah. What is wrong with okay? Let's say you want to charge an extra $5 or $10 per game because it's a 2-disc game, and you could probably have to have a customized PS4 box to hold the 2 and everything. People would pay out the ass to get that anyway. It doesn't matter. There's no reason for it to be released in episodes like that. Absolutely none. You're looking at something that could potentially just completely turn them into the new Konami. Konami became the new EA, and now everybody's seen where Konami's at right now. Square is going to start turning themselves into the new Konami by doing business moves like this. You're looking at something that we don't know how many episodes are going to be in this game, because we don't know what kind of new content they're adding. If they were going to base it strictly on the story of Final Fantasy VII as we know it, then there's no reason to make it episodic, because we already know the story. We already know what's going to happen. Why make it episodic and make us wait to play through
Right.
it? It makes
And
no sense.
if they're
to
gonna,
me.
like, say, oh, they want to spend as much time as they can on each episode, it's like, just release it a little bit later than anticipated. Like, you have no issue doing this with Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, we've been waiting for eons for that game. Like, just, like, I'd rather have a full, complete game than have to wait, like, months in between. When, like, I already know the story. I've played, like you said, like, I've played Final Fantasy VII. I know what happens with Cloud. I know Aerith dies. I know exactly.
Spoilers.
I know I know the game, right? I just want to play, like, the next gen version of it. I want to see, like, those insane graphics. I want to see Cloud and Tifa and whatnot and, like, HD. You know, Advent Children gave us a taste and we've been wanting it ever since. Just give it to us.
How much would you pay for Final Fantasy VII HD Remake if let's say it all came in one box, two discs, whatever? How much would you pay for a retail copy of that?
Like, if I were to buy it on the day it comes out, I'd
Sure,
pay $80. Yeah.
you'd pay $80. Okay, that's generally most people might even pay more than that. We don't really know the price point of the start of this game. What if this game comes out with the first episode, Final Fantasy VII Remake Episode 1, and it's
I'm not gonna pay
$60?
$60 for episode 1 when there might be 5 episodes, each of them $60.
I see, that's the thing. We don't. It's hard. Everybody's jumping to conclusions because we don't know the price point of this. Is there going to be, like, every episode? Is it going to be $20? Is every episode going to be $40? Is the first episode going to be 60, and each episode following after that going to be an additional $20? Is there going to be a season pass? Is there going to be anything that makes it worth the amount of money that they're trying to squeeze out of our wallets? Right now, no. We don't know how big the episodes are. We don't know how long they are. What if these episodes are only 3 hours long, 4 hours long of gameplay? It doesn't do any good for Square Enix to make this an episodic game when they could easily just manufacture the discs and put 2 discs into a case and ship it off, and people will pay out the nose
And, like,
for it.
I mean, I would feel better about it, I guess, if they came out tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, you know what I mean, and said, like, you know, there's gonna be 5 episodes. The first episode is gonna cost $60. Like, the second episode is gonna cost this much money. Like, these are your different options. Like, it would be a different discussion at that point, and I'd still be unhappy because I just want the fucking game, right? But,
Mm-hmm.
like, right now I feel like they're just trying to milk us, and they're just trying to get they're trying to, like, scam as much out of their customers and their fans as they can, and it just feels dirty to me.
How long do you think it's going to be between each episode?
Thing is that the problem with episodic games is that people forget, right? Like, I read a lot of books. I'm reading this one book series, and I read the second book like 7 years before the third book came out. I'm not talking about A Song of Ice and Fire, by the way.
That's the first one that everybody jumps to. The series that has a
That's not
book
the one
every
I'm talking
17
about. But it's
years.
like when the third one came out, I had to read the first two over again because I'm like, what happened? It's been 7 years. I've completely forgotten. And like that's easier to do with a book because there's not cutscenes and gameplay and whatnot, right? Like you can just download it on Audible and listen to it while you're walking to work, right? Like that's easy. That's not like you have to invest a lot of time and energy into a game and like after 3 months, like say I play the first episode, 3 months later, I'm not gonna remember that much about the first episode. Like I'm gonna feel compelled to play it again before I play the second episode that's come out 3 months later. And it's probably not even going to be 3 months. It's probably going to be like half a year between each episode if they're going to be as massive as Square says they're going to be. Um, and I'm not going to remember content. I'm not going to remember small details. And I'm very detail oriented when it comes to stories. So I'm going to feel like Square is just forcing me to play these games as often, as much as possible, just to keep up with content. And what's going to end up happening is I'm going to wait until all the episodes are out, until they're much cheaper than they are now, than they are when they release, which will probably be like, what, 2-3 years down the road, and then I'm going to play it.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I plan on doing, depending on the release dates and the prices. Because honestly, if they don't release an episode at least, and I mean at least, at the bare minimum, at least once a month, people are not going to invest in this game. There will be, of course, the super hardcore Final Fantasy VII fans who just, they don't care if they have to wait 5 years between episodes. They're going to buy it. But for the generalized gaming community nowadays, they're not going to have that kind of attention span. They're going to move on to something else that's going to bogart their time, and they're going to completely forget about it until they see something come up, and they're going to be like, I bought episode 1, and it was fun and all, but I'm caught up
Fallout
in
6.
playing whatever the hyped up at this rate, yeah. Like they could be playing Destiny
Half-Life
or
3.
the next Halo, or well, we'll get to that in a minute. Like just something that's basically going to take all their attention away from Final Fantasy VII, and they're going to end up just not caring about buying. Let's say the episode 2 is $20. They're not going to pay $20 for it. They're going to wait to see how long it takes for these episodes to come out. They're going to wait for them to have a quote-unquote Game of the Year edition or definitive edition or, whatever tagline they want to put on it. And they're going to buy it all at once and have a completed Final Fantasy VII HD
And then they're going to like just let it sit there until they feel like they want to play it because like no one else around them is playing it like right this second, right? Like the reason why everyone's playing Fallout 4 right now is because everyone is playing Fallout 4. It's a brand new game. There's so much hype. It's amazing. Like everyone wants to get in on it, and Final Fantasy VII is going to lose that window. Like if they make it episodic, there's not going to be like the huge craze. There's not going to be the huge discussion because so many people are just going to wait until they can play the entire game through. And when that, and like if they're going to wait until it's at a price point that's most convenient for them. For some people, that's $30. For me, that might be like $10. Like, if it's coming out on PC, I don't know if it is or not. I actually haven't checked on that. But if it's coming out on PC, I'm going to wait till the Steam Summer Sale makes it $10 a pop, right? Like, that's going to be years and years after it comes out. And no, like, Eric's probably not going to be playing at that point. Like, the community's not going to be playing it, so I won't have any motivation to play it until I've played, whatever the hype game is, like Eric said.
Exactly. Right. That was a bit of a heated discussion about that. I mean, it's relative to what's going on right now, though. Like, that is the premier discussion right now in gaming, it seems like, is Final Fantasy VII HD, or not HD Remake, just Final Fantasy VII Remake, and what the future holds for that game, because there's so many questions up in the air, and there was like a shockwave going through the community whenever it was, announced that it was going to be episodic. Everybody's got their opinion on it. Some people are going to be okay with it. Some people are going to be like us and think that the idea of it being episodic makes no sense when they have the capability of making it not episodic. It's just one of those we're gonna have to wait and
it's
see
not an
and get a little
episodic. It's
more
not a game that
information.
lends itself to episodes very well because it's not. I mean, it is a story-driven game, but it's not a visual story. If that makes sense. Like Life is Strange is a visual story. Like yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
like a playable visual
And
novel,
that's not
kind
what
of.
Final Fantasy VII is. Final Fantasy VII, like, there is a very involved story to it that people are invested in, but they're also invested in, killing the monsters and beating Sephiroth and finding, hidden areas and doing side quests and things. Like, they're invested in playing,
What
the full game, not just playing the story through.
which again makes me wonder about the new content that they're claiming they're adding to the game, because is this new content that they're adding designed to make it more like chapter based? Are they going to do something that completely alters the story that as we know it from the original Final Fantasy VII to make it a new game as they kind of want it to be? Because clearly that's what they want it to be. They want it to be a remake, but they want it to have its own flavor, its own
But like, I don't want a new
its own
Final
story,
Fantasy
so to
VII
speak.
story, and I don't think anyone does. Like, we want to see, Cloud's triumph over adversity. We want to see like the power struggle between him and Sephiroth. We want to see his loss when Aerith dies. Spoiler alert. Like, we want to see like the budding friendship and how he learns how to become himself. Like that story was like a big part of that game, and changing it at all will fundamentally change our view on Final Fantasy, and I don't think it'll change it in a positive light if they do anything drastic. Because, like, it was a shock when people first saw Aerith die. Like, that was something that was never done in gaming.
Oh, that was heart wrenching. Don't even get me started on the first time I saw Aerith die, and I was just like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Throw my controller across the room, throw my
And,
hands up, be like, fuck
like,
this
I
game, I'm
understand
done.
Square
Like,
wanting to be like,
that's
we
how it
want to
was.
elicit that response again, right? Like, we want to have something like so mind-blowing that our fans are going to be like, "Oh my god, like this is crazy." But you can't do that with Final Fantasy VII. Like, people love Final Fantasy VII for what it is. And changing it at all is going to like make everyone just hate the game. And that's just my personal feeling. Like, I could be proven completely wrong, and if I am, I will come back and say like, "Hey guys, I was wrong." But I don't think I will be. I think that there are like, if Square wants to be wants to bring back that feeling of we do things that no one else does, we bring new ideas into gaming, we like bring new shock value, they need to do it in a different game. They need to give us Final Fantasy VII like the way we envision it, right? Like the game in beautiful graphics with beautiful gameplay, like that heart-wrenching, beautiful story that we all love. Exactly. We
That you
don't
become
really need too
emotionally
much
attached
change to the
to.
story. Maybe some clarification here and there, but nothing like major, right? And yeah, like that's all we need. That's all we've ever been looking for. We want to see emo Cloud Strife. We want to see kick-ass Tifa. We want to see Barrett shooting things. Like, we don't need any...
We want to see Kate, Sith, and Yuffie sitting on the bench because nobody uses their
Exactly.
sorry
Like,
asses. Like, these are the things we need.
I don't know. I just want Final Fantasy VII, maybe with, a few extra battles, and just looking amazing. I don't need anything crazy from Square with this game. Now, if they want to do something crazy with, like, Kingdom Hearts, they want to, like, create a new series to, like, blow everyone away, like, that's great. Because that's, like, unmarked territory. That's something new, and I'd love to see that, but not with Final Fantasy VII. I've said that, like, 5 times now.
Yes, yeah. We've gone on quite a bit of a tangent. We got a little more to get to here, so we're gonna move on for now from Final Fantasy VII and get into the whole Steam list leak that's been floating around the internet.
I'm calling BS.
And why are you calling BS?
Because there is no way that after, like, all this hype, all this craze, all this secrecy that Valve has put around Half-Life 3, that they would just, like, let it get leaked like that. I think it's a red herring. I think they, like, I don't know, conspiracy theory here, guys. They, like, just released this to get everyone going crazy again. Like they do, like, every few months or years about Half-Life 3. So that, they can keep the craze going until they finally release the game, if they ever do at all.
I can kind of see that. I don't know if I want to be a conspiracy theorist to that point and say that Valve let this leak themselves. But, I mean, it's not exactly hurting them in the publicity department.
No, it's not. And like that one meme says, Valve used to make games, now they make money, right?
Exactly.
Like, they're just milking this. Like, because that's what they're good at, right?
Mm-hmm. Alright, so from what I understand, this is the current list of games that was quote-unquote leaked. Nobody really knows, the true conspiracy theories behind it, but the list of games that are coming to or supposedly coming to Steam include Everybody's Gone to Rapture, Criminal Girls.
Is that like what is Everybody's Gone to Rapture? Is it supposed to be BioShock related?
No.
I just hear Rapture and I'm like, BioShock.
It's I really wish I could explain it. I have not played it myself, but I've heard amazing things about it. It's like a first-person story-driven game.
I'll check it out.
All right. So
I don't play too many console games, so if it's not on Steam, odds are I haven't played it.
Right. All right. So, right. I said Criminal Girls, and we have Danganronpa 1 and 2, Steins Gate. Here's one that people were... It is an anime. It's also a manga and also a game. All right. So here's one of the games that people were expecting because of the current trend. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD coming to Steam.
I wish I didn't buy the Vista version of it now if this is real. Vista?
She means Vita.
Vita? I can't speak.
I kind of wish you hadn't bought a Vita.
I wanted Persona. That's why I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
For the sole purpose of Persona.
It's not a PS Vita, it's a Persona Vita.
It's a Persona Vita.
Alright. Guilty Gear XRD Sign. I don't know if you know what Guilty Gear is.
I have heard of it. I don't think I've ever played it.
It's a 2D fighting game that's very...
why I've never played it.
It's anime style, and honestly, they're some of the best, if not the best, graphics and animations for a fighting game I've ever seen. Guilty Gear
I don't play fighting games.
I'll have to throw something up for people to get a look at it, maybe, because it's absolutely amazing looking. Alright, we also have Earth Defense Force 4.1, Stranger of Sword City, Bad Rats Show, the aforementioned Half-Life 3, Space Pirates VR, Arjun Muso, Arslan, I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Roomba. That's not it.
Phantom Brave, Rage Gigant, or Gigant, Code of Princess, which is actually a Nintendo 3DS game, X-Blaze Code Embryo, and one more game that I'm, again, not surprised based on the current trends, is Final Fantasy VI. Now,
Eric
Fantasy VI...
loves Final Fantasy VI. He sleeps with his copy of the game.
It's true.
He makes sweet, sweet love to it. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't go that far.
You don't know me. You don't know my life. Don't judge. No, okay, so Final Fantasy VI. To me, and to a lot of people, it is the definitive Final Fantasy game in the entire series. We're talking... People may know it as Final Fantasy III because that's what it was released as in America originally on the Super Nintendo. But it's actually the 6th installment in the Final Fantasy series. And it is the most beautifully crafted, story-driven RPG I have ever played. Like, bar none. That's including Chrono Trigger. Like, it is perfectly designed with story, with battle mechanics, with the sprite graphics. Like, for the time, it was Super Nintendo and everything with sprites. It was the last sprite-driven Final Fantasy game because, obviously, after 6 came 7. And it was the first 3D Final Fantasy game. Everybody knows that the absolutely definitive version of Final Fantasy VI to be played that was brought over to America is the Game Boy Advance Edition because it fixes translation errors, it fixes bugs, it adds additional dungeons, it adds more to the gameplay. Like, it just makes the game better in almost every way possible. Excuse me. So why on earth would Steam, if this list is... Well, actually, no, it is true because they've already formally announced that it's coming to Steam. Why on earth would they choose the crappiest version of this game possible to bring to the Steam operating systems? Like, why would they use the mobile version? I'm talking iOS, Android, things like that. The game is hideous looking.
Well, Nintendo is also very, uptight about their property. Maybe, Steam couldn't get permission since it came out on a Nintendo system to port it to the PC. And this was, the only alternative they had.
I don't know if that's true because Steam has a kind of a reputation now of picking up really crappy mobile games and putting them on Steam.
That is true.
They do that a lot. And I'm thinking they looked at this and they thought, okay, well, Final Fantasy 7 or 6, has been made for mobile applications like tablets and phones and whatnot, which uses touch controls. Well, we can just apply that instead of using touch, you can just use your mouse. I think that's what they're going for. And I'm sorry, it's not going to work. It's never going to capture anybody's heart like the original or the GBA version did because it looks stupid. I don't know how any other way to put it. It just looks dumb. The graphics... I'm sorry,
no, I mean, I agree with you, it does look dumb, but I just don't know, from a legal standpoint, what's up. So I can't really say one way or another, if this was the right or wrong thing to do.
I would rather them not put it up there unless it's a good version. Because all this is going to do is just another cash grab for Valve and for Square. Because Nintendo's not going to get anything out of this. And if they do, it's going to be very little compared to the other two shares. Because it's not their... Technically, it's not their graphics. It's not their engine. They're using a remade sprite system which makes them look like glorified chibi characters. Like, their heads look way too big for their bodies. the text when the characters are speaking just looks off-putting, and the sound quality, it doesn't have that same charm that the original SNES version did. Like, everything about this game, yeah, it may be based on what I consider my favorite RPG of all time. Like, I won't say it's my favorite game of all time because I'm in love with Zelda. Like, Legend of Zelda is my thing. But, like, it's far and away my favorite SNES RPG. Far and away my favorite Final Fantasy game. Far and away my favorite story-driven RPG of any genre, of any time, of any console or PC or anything. Like, it's the perfect RPG for me. And it just kills me. It breaks my heart to see it being brought to the masses of a new generation of gamers who like to get their games on Steam and everything, and they're using this shit version that's going to put a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and it just spits in the face of the people who love that game from the original standpoint.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Like, it does suck. I mean, emulators do exist, though. So, if you're really looking to play it in, like, a more pure form... Pure? Is that a word?
Pure? You would just say pure, a more pure form. Yay, English lessons.
English is a beautiful but awful language. Anyways.
It's true.
You can always emulate it. Like, it is an option. But, yeah, like, it's obviously a cash grab. But, I mean, is anything Valve does not a cash grab?
Oh, obviously not. I mean, hell, look at Team Fortress 2. It is the absolute street-walking, corner-hugging horror of the video game universe. All they do is basically latch themselves onto another game like a freaking suckling pig or something, like some amoeba or some infectious thing trying to... A parasite, that's the word I was looking for, yes. Because and they turn whatever game they've latched themselves onto into a set of hats. Because they know they're going to make money off of it. Though. That's what Valve does. It doesn't matter. God, it kills me to see them doing this to freaking Final Fantasy VI. I'm waiting on TF2. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm waiting for the freaking Sabin and Locke and Terra and Kefka masks and shit. They show up in TF2, and I'm just gonna lose my mind.
Fun fact, though. The book series I was talking about earlier is called the Locke Lamora, or it's called something, but the main character is named Locke Lamora, and he's based off of the Locke from Final Fantasy VI. Yeah.
Is he really?
And
he's awesome because I love Locke.
And the books are awesome, and I highly recommend them if you're willing to wait 7 years for each book.
What's the series called?
I don't remember what it's called, but the first book is called...
Well, then how do you recommend them if you don't know what the series is called? I don't know.
The first book is called, like, The Life and Lies of Locke Lamora.
We'll have to maybe get some information to put that in the description because I have no idea what that is. Alright, we have a couple more things on the list here to talk about this episode, so... We're gonna swing by and hit the old MOBA corner here and talk about League of Legends and Heroes of Storm for a minute.
Or no, the Lies of Locke Lamora. I got it mixed up with like the book about Dumbledore in the seventh Harry Potter book. Whatever. I'm a big fantasy nerd. I really like fantasy books.
Yeah, we can tell you're a big nerd.
Gentlemen Bastards. That is what the series is called.
Gentlemen Bastards. All right, we'll get some information up in the description.
I'm all over the place.
Anyway.
Oh my god, things are falling. All right, I'm good.
Okay. So League of Legends with the Poppy rework coming in.
I have
yesterday or today.
No idea what is happening with League of Legends. I have not played since the preseason. I haven't really played since like September. I played a few games here and there.
So, basically, Jivvy and I have played a handful of games since they redid everything, it feels like. It feels like an entirely new game, honestly.
just to give you guys some context, Eric's been playing since the alpha, I believe, or
Oh yes,
pre-alpha, or something like
I
that.
am an old fart when it comes to League. Like I was in the first wave of closed alpha testers.
And I started playing like a month or two after the beta ended. So we've been playing for a while.
Well over 5 years.
Wasted a lot of my life towards this game.
Yes, we both of us have. But excuse me. But you know,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say like the game.
Eric didn't get it.
No, I didn't. I didn't hear what
Because
you
like
said.
you said so I was like
It's not ch
That's whatever.
or tss.
Whatever.
Tss.
It was a joke. Just laugh at it. Just embrace it.
Ha 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 ha. Okay.
Thank
Anyway,
you. You're an ass.
so as I was gonna say, like League of Legends, it's the most popular video game online in the world. Like it just is. It's the most popular multiplayer online game in the world right now.
Because for a long time, it was a lot of fun.
And I mean,
Sorry,
I'm
I'm
sure
bitter.
it's still a lot of fun for a lot of people, but the game, just by its nature, when you're constantly adding new champions, when you're constantly tweaking items and trying to balance things, the game's going to change. It's going to evolve over time. It seems like every season they have some major change that's coming up in the next preseason, be it the jungle changes or the new Summoner's Rift map. It's always going to be something. So what we have here with
My complaint about this preseason, sorry, before we get into the poppy changes and everything, my complaint about the preseason is that they changed way too much at the same time and it just threw everything off. And I like little changes so I can complain about it, get used to it, accept it. Then another thing changes and I'll complain about it, get used to it, accept it. When too many things change at the same time, I kind of just throw my mouse on the ground and walk away.
And that's pretty much what happened. We played a couple of games right after these major preseason changes. And by major preseason changes, I mean they changed, like, it feels like 80% of the items in the game. They completely redid masteries. They changed the way the jungle works. They changed the way ADCs work.
Changed vision! Like, why do they keep fucking with vision? Like,
they changed vision. Like,
I was so happy with Season 5 vision. It was like, we had sight stones, we had trinkets, people were warding. Like, if you didn't ward, probably you lost the game, right? Like, vision was important. Like, people were being proactive about it to a certain extent. Like, I thought it was like some of the best vision stuff that we have seen in a long time. Yeah, it was annoying not to have, an oracles or something, but I like the changes they made to Pink Ward. I was a little bit hesitant at first, but it made people play smarter. It made people think about, I only have 3 wards. I've got to be really smart about it. I've got to communicate, I'm going to throw a ward here, maybe my team member should throw a ward there to kind of work with my ward, right? It was now it's just whatever. It doesn't matter if you place a vision ward because the other team can just destroy it. I feel like there's no more strategy. I can't speak. I'm so angry.
strategy.
I'm so angry.
Angry.
I'm so
Wow.
angry. I cannot speak.
Are you done having a moment there?
I'm done.
Are you? Okay. So, to get back to what I was trying to say before we got onto the tangent about vision, is that the game is an ever-changing beast. Like, that's just what it is. It's going to evolve with every passing day.
Or
One
every
of the things...
patch.
Sure. One of the things that a lot of people have noticed about League of Legends is sometimes a champion will go under the radar for quite a long time without any real changes. Poppy was one of those champions. She always... I don't remember the last time she was significantly changed. Maybe if ever. But people felt like and by people I mean those at Riot, felt like her gameplay wasn't conducive to like a proper team and the quote unquote meta and everything. She never really got any play in any ranked play or the worlds or anything. Like she never saw the light of day.
She was really strong on Dominion.
Again, a map that nobody plays.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I was just giving some info.
Yeah, I mean she's got her moments. Like a good Poppy player, like the old Poppy before her recent changes, was scary. Because it's all about positioning with her, it's all about hitting people into walls and doing the whole your own self-contained wombo combo to just suddenly melt somebody from 100 to nothing.
But, it's risky. It's so much about, like, making sure your team's with you. But, like, that's true of any tank. People generally aren't that good at positioning. And yeah, like, she had a steep learning curve, and people weren't willing to climb that curve.
And I mean, honestly, a lot of people didn't find her that fun.
Yeah.
I thought she was fun to an extent. My biggest problem with old Poppy was her ult and her passive. Now her passive was just obnoxious because the lower health she got, like the more defensive she got, and it was just hard to kill her. Like you couldn't Garen ult her, you couldn't do any like insta give ult to her because she would just be like, haha, I'm Poppy, whatever. Her ult, however, was one of the most obnoxious things to lane against, especially at level 6, because it gave her the ability to just tower dive you and she didn't give a shit. She literally took 0 damage for the few seconds that she had her ult on you. For those that don't know what her ult was, it was basically she threw a shield on herself as she targets one enemy champion. So, like, let's say I'm playing Poppy and I'm top lane against a Garen.
I'll be Garen.
We're trading back. Okay, Jivvy will be Garen. We'll be trading back and forth, doing damage to each other. And I'll say I get Jivvy's Garen down to about 30% health or so, and she goes to hide behind their tower. Poppy gives no shit. Poppy's ult basically says, okay, I'm gonna mark you, and you're the only thing in the world that can do damage to me for X amount of seconds while this ult is on you. I'm gonna have a big shield around me. It means minions don't hurt me, jungle camps don't hurt me, Baron doesn't hurt me, towers doesn't hurt me. Like, nothing hurts me except for whatever's marked.
And they only do
that
like
seems...
30% damage or something like that.
Oh, no. Poppy does more damage
right,
to
no.
them.
But the person who's marked doesn't do full damage to Poppy. They only do like 30% or something.
Oh, no, I think they do full damage.
So. Regardless.
Regardless, it was a bullshit thing to do because at level 6, if Poppy got her opponent low, and she could just tower dive them and then walk away. So, Riot and basically everybody in the community got tired of that crap, and they completely reworked her ult. So now she has something that's very reminiscent of a mechanic from Heroes of the Storm. The Dragonshire map on Heroes of the Storm, basically a player on your team can gain control of the dragon statue. You become this big monstrous dragon who has a kick ability. What happens is the dragon spirit that you're inhabiting or whatever, the giant dragon warrior, will kick an enemy champion way across the map away from you. It seems like Riot took that idea because it was new and, you didn't really see that in MOBAs, and they applied that to Poppy's new ult. Now she takes her massive two-handed hammer, because that's what it is now. It's not like a little one-handed hammer and shield. She wields like a giant Garen-sized two-handed mace.
It's not a mace, it doesn't have spikes
and she'll... Jivvy, I will cut you.
You won't bludgeon me?
I'm
not hammers. I'm sorry. I'm done.
she'll take her weapon and she'll smash it into the ground, and anybody within the vicinity of the impact point will go flying towards their own nexus.
And, like, the more she winds up, the more they fly away.
And I shouldn't say nexus, that would be Heroes of the Storm. I mean their core.
I thought it was Nexus. It is Nexus.
Is it Nexus? I'm having a brain fart now. Is it Nexus?
Nexus.
Wow, I'm having a brain. Anyway, okay, their base.
It's Guardian and Smite.
They go flying. It's true.
We're not talking about Smite, though.
So no matter where you are on the map, if you're in the northern end, the southern end, east, west, no matter where you're at, you're going to basically be knocked into a straight line across the map towards your own base. That seems slightly overpowered, especially since you can do it to multiple targets. The Here's the Storm version, you can only do it to, like, you can do it every 10 seconds or so, but you can only do it to one target at a time, so it's good for, like, taking out DPS who's trying to take you out.
Right, but you can only do it to multiple targets if they're, like, right on top of each other. To be fair.
And that's not hard to pull off, though.
Like say you have
I think what she meant to say is, like, you have champions like Galio or whoever pulls people into a certain point, then yeah.
Champions.
I mean, you can count AE champions that can hold them there or slow them down. You have a Moo, you have Nunu.
Whatever.
The point being is that this new rework on her, she's got a new graphic update. Like, she's HD. She doesn't look like the short little squatty Yordle that she. That's what they're doing. Riot is slowly making all the Yordles bigger. Like, look at Tristana's.
You know what? But like, I kind of like that. Let's have like a feminist rant here for a second. I liked that Poppy was kind of a little bit more masculine, a little bit more, muscular and hardy and whatnot, and now she just looks like a little girl, Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Not saying there is, but I feel like, one of the great things about Poppy was that she was a different kind of female than, like, the majority of the females in Riot's lineup. And, like, that's gone now.
Well, I mean, now you have Ilaoi, or however you pronounce her name, the newest champion, the tentacle witch. She looks like a super burly version of, like, if Braum and Korra from Legend of Korra
and
had
I mean,
a kid.
We have Bai, we have, like, Rek'Sai, who's a female monster, like, Poppy was the original, right? Like, she was the original, like, burly, I mean, for Yordle, right? Like, burly kind of masculine female, and, like, it was just part of who she was, and now it's gone, and
she's still kind of goddess. She isn't, like, all short and squat like she was.
Like, these little cutesy pigtails, and I know, but they weren't cutesy before. They were kind of like these weird, out of place, masculine pigtails, and they were great. They were great, masculine and now pigtails. They're like, oh look, I'm just skipping through the forest. I don't know.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Riot seems to want to make all the Yordle females kind of anime-ish, almost. Like, they're kind of getting that cute look. I'm kind of waiting to see what they do to, like, Lulu. I'm not liking
the new Yordles. Like, I don't know.
I kind of like them, honestly. Like, I think they're more defined. I think they have more character now. What I'm more interested in and kind of curious about is, like, what they're going to do with the males. Because, I mean, female Yordles, I mean, look at them. You have Tristana, Lulu, Poppy, like, they all kind of have, like, that. Yeah, their skin's a different color, like purple or kind of greenish or whatever, but they look almost human. Whereas male Yordles look like freaking hamsters. Like, they're just covered in hair.
I don't want them to look less hamsterish. I like the hamster look. I think they're adorable.
I agree. I kind of hope they bring out a new skin for Amumu, and it's going to be like the unwrapped Amumu or something.
Oh, that
And you can
sounds
finally see
terrifying.
I highly doubt they will, but
Anyways, let's
that
get
would be
back
awesome.
to talking about
Right.
Poppy changes.
That was pretty much it. Like, most of her stuff's relatively the same. Like, she's still got the dash and beat you into a wall to stun you, and then she'll follow it up with an auto attack. She's still got, the speed. The major change, honestly, the major changes about her were her visual
Right.
update and her ult. Otherwise, I mean, she still plays relatively the same. There's going to be some adjustment based on, statistical changes in the numbers and everything, but from what I understand, like, she's supposed to be played
Wait,
AD now.
they said that. Sorry, this is kind of off topic. But they said that while the target is flying away, like, they're can't speak. Right. So you
They can't
can't,
be hit. They're
like,
invulnerable. Yes.
Yasuo ult off of it, right?
That would be a for don't get me started on it also. But from what on the video, like the champion spotlight that we saw, the example they used was a Jinx ult flying towards whoever Poppy's target was. I can't remember. It may have been Darius or somebody. And while they're in the air, the ult went right through their line of sight, like the path where they were, but because they were above and up in the air, the ult went right by them, as
Right.
in like they jumped over the ult. They made it seem like any like projectile or spells beneath him or her, whoever's in the air, won't hit. But I'm still kind of curious about Yasuo. I'll be willing to bet that Yasuo
Because he's
ult
bullshit.
still works on it. Be- yes, because he is bullshit. I agree. Because if you look at Vi's ult, Vi literally lifts them off the ground. He can
Yeah.
ult off of
Well,
that.
this isn't really a Yasuo rage fest
I
right
mean,
now.
I'm gonna move on from y'all. So I'm working on the last topic here before I literally take half an hour just to explain every aspect of why Yasuo is bullshit. Um, all right. So the last thing we're gonna talk about for this episode is Heroes of the Storm, and Jivvy doesn't know about what I'm about to explain to her, but I want to get her general reaction. Her not general reaction, genuine reaction. So, Jivvy, you know about Blizzard and
No, what's Blizzard? Explain it to me.
are you done? Are you done?
Never.
All right.
Never.
If you're gonna let me finish what I was saying, you know about Blizzard and their games and how they like to use a refer a friend system, yes?
Yep.
So, like in WoW, World of Warcraft, they would use the refer a friend system, and basically what they're trying to do is get player A, who's been playing the game, to get other people in their families, friends, or whatever to come play WoW with them in order to drive sales and gain subscriptions and everything. And as compensation, in WoW, like you would get like a special 2-seater mount or something for getting X amount of players to come play WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes of the Storm, with this latest patch, implemented something almost identical. They've implemented the Vulture mount, which is a mount that they've been talking about for a long time. It's, the futuristic hover bike looking mount. And they talked about this months ago, but they never actually said how they were going to get it, and they never brought it up again until just now. So, the way to get the Vulture mount, and as of right now, the only way to get the Vulture mount, is to not only get somebody refer a friend into the game and level to level 10, you have to get 4 accounts in your refer a friend system and get them all leveled to 10 before you can get your Vulture mount. Now, what I'm posing to you, Jivvy, is if you were, because I know you're not as big a Heroes player as I am, would you try to get 4 people who don't play the game to come play Heroes of the Storm and not just play 1 or 2 games? I mean, like, level to level 10, which is several games. I mean, by several, I mean like 15, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do that in order to get this mount?
I mean, is it just like does it give you like any special abilities, or does it just
Nope.
look cool?
Mounts are strictly cosmetic. I mean, every mount gives you the same speed and everything. The only difference between mounts is the way they look.
No, but then again, I don't. First of all, like it's not weird just because like almost every game has like some kind of tiered like referral system. Like you get these many people, you get this, you get these many people, you get this. It's like it doesn't like it's not like that doesn't surprise me or anything. Um and then for me personally, I don't refer people to games because nobody listens to me. Um so
Let's see. Okay, so basically, you're saying that you wouldn't get them out because you wouldn't be able to get the referrals and whatnot, right?
and I don't know, if it was like purely cosmetic, like the thing is that I don't really know what it looks like and I don't know like how much I want it, right? Like if okay, say like I really like I'm desperate for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might just make 4 fake accounts. No.
That's what I was gonna get to. So,
But I know I can try as hard as I want. I can beg my friends. I can beg, not really my family, because none of them play video games. It's my brother who's 10, but anyways, I can beg my friends to, try this game, play a few with me. Like, I'll play all of them with you. I'll play all of them for you, blah, blah, blah. Like, just try it, right? They won't do it. Like, my friends will not play a game they do not want to play.
so that's what I was gonna get to. So basically, the Heroes of the Storm forums have been completely flooded with threads talking about displeasure over the refer a friend being the only way to get a Vulture mount, and threads about how people are basically saying, okay, let me just make 4 fake accounts or Smurf accounts and just level them all to 10, and then I'll just get my mount that way. Do you really see that as, like, as a mount? Like, do you really see that as a viable way to really get people motivated to try to refer people to the game?
I honestly don't believe that, like, refer a friend works, like, at all for, like, video games. Like, so it, like, works for, like, it's like, refer a friend and they'll get, like, 15% off this mug or something, right? Like, that shit works. But I don't think it works for games. Like, people, like, if they want to play the game,
They'll play
they're
the
gonna
game.
play it, right? Like, if they haven't started playing it yet, that means they, one, either don't know about it, maybe, like, the refer a friend will, like, give them the opportunity to know about it. But, like, the thing is that I talk about the games that I play with my friends,
Right.
right? Like, if I'm playing a game, my friends know that I'm playing that game.
Right.
So, if they want to play it with me, they would have already started playing it with me.
I
So,
agree.
refer a friend, I don't think works in general. But, I mean, I don't know the statistics on it. I haven't looked at the data. This is just kind of like this is the logic behind it, that's why I believe it, kind of thing.
Right. And I mean, I guess we'll see how it works. At least Blizzard with Heroes and their refer friend system, they're actually giving some incentives to the referees, like the people coming into level to 10, because they're giving you a free champion in Jim Raynor. And then if you get to level 10, they're giving you a free champion in Sylvanas, who is usually like a 10,000 gold champion, which is like high-end tier champion. So, I mean, at least there's that, but honestly, I'll bet you 99% of the people who have the Vulture mount got them through smurfing their own accounts.
Yeah.
And that's not, I mean, it's going to inflate the numbers a bit and saying, like, we have X amount of subscribers or whatever, players. But honestly, in the long run, it's not going to do anything, and I think they're going to end up just putting the Vulture mount in the store to buy, like, all the other mounts that they've had.
Well, I don't know about that because, I mean, aren't there like League? Aren't there skins that you can only get if you refer a certain amount of people? And like
Probably.
they've never put those skins in the store.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. League has so many champions and so many skins that they can do that.
That's fair.
There's not that many mounts in Heroes. There's like maybe 12, maybe.
I mean, for now,
So,
like,
well, yeah,
it's
it's still a
assuming
growing
that
game.
it's gonna grow. Like how old is Heroes?
Heroes, like, officially launched,
Yeah.
like, not even a year yet, I don't think, or maybe just around a year.
So like, I mean,
Here, let me Google. Let's go ahead and talk while I Google this real quick.
like League didn't have like the massive amount of content that it does like when it was just a year old. Like if Hero goes in the path of League, like it's gonna grow bigger and hopefully it'll just continue to improve and more people will be attracted to the game, and like that's how they're probably going to increase their player base, not like refer a friend.
Right. Here's the Storm was officially released just over 6 months ago.
Yeah, like it's
Like June 2nd, 2015.
like I understand like it's such like a fledgling game, they want to expand it as fast as they can,
Mm-hmm.
but they just like they have to make it as attractive as they can, not like give people incentives to make fake accounts.
Right. I mean, it's a growing game. Like I said, like League's got like 130 plus champions. Heroes has got like 35, 40. So it's still got a long way to go, but I think it's too early for a friend unless they're going to give some real incentive. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they just gave the Vulture mount if you only had to get one account to level 10. But the fact that it's 4 just seems a little excessive.
I really want people to play the game, and I can't fault them for that. Like they've
Oh, I
spent
mean, I
time and
can't
money
either.
on it, but I don't think this is the right way to like I don't think this is a fruitful way to go.
They have to know that people are just gonna smurf. Like they have to know that.
Well, probably this is what they're thinking. It's like, yeah, probably 99% of people are going to smurf, but that 1% is going to bring in 4 new people.
I guess, but
And it'll be worth it for those
it's not
4 new
it's
people.
not like but it's not like it's a subscription game. It's a free to play game. So I mean,
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, I think it's a little too early for the refer a friend system for something like this. But if they can get it to work and they can show some positive results, then I'll gladly say that I was wrong and more power to them. I think we've cleared up all our topics for this week.
Yay, we did it.